Hi, this is the Talking Timber podcast with me, Mike Jeffrey.
And me, Keith Fryer.
Yeah, man, today's topic is women in timber.
Yeah, no, that's right. And I think we've got a rather interesting guest about to join us at any moment now.
Yeah, we have. It's Chidi Adilih-Osim, who is the group sales manager for TTJ, Timber Trades Journal, and Wood-Based Panels International. And what we'd like to talk about is, traditionally, the timber industry, or historically the timber industry, has been very male-dominated.
Just a bit. But
that is clearly now changing. More women are entering the industry and also taking on key roles. And Chidi, you're involved in efforts to sort of push that trend forward, I believe.
Yeah, no, really, thank you very much for having me, Mike and Keith. I'm really, really honoured to be part of the podcast today.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on board.
Topic.
Yeah. I wonder if we could start off with a bit about you and your background and career, how you came to join the Timber Trades Journal.
Yeah, how on earth did you end up in this place?
No. Well, it's Timber Trades Journal. It's one of the oldest trade magazines there is. It's
I know.
1873 it was started. So
How do you come to that? For 150 years for the TTJ. I've been in sales and marketing for I would say 20 years really, and I started my career at News International in London. So I worked for the Times newspaper, Sunday Times.
Okay.
And that's kind of pretty much where I got my media sales stripes, really, just kind of printing and advertising in the newspapers. And then I kind of went on to other companies like L'Oreal Group.
Yeah.
A bit of marketing there for the Body Shop for 7 years, and then I also worked for BT. Quite interesting because BT kind of got me out in the field, really, just kind of face-to-face meeting clients. And I would say that was the role that kind of shaped me a bit more to be resilient salesperson. Because,
I bet.
when you have to sell, you've got to understand what you're seeing, who you're seeing it to, and when you take the nose, you take it with a pinch of salt, really. So I was really driving around the whole of northwest of England, covering cities like Chester, Birmingham, Northwest Wales, Stoke-on-Trent. So it's been a bit of a colourful,
quite a diverse background,
so far.
So coming to your current role on the Timber Trades Journal. Could you tell us how you sort of became sort of involved with the magazine and
Yeah, absolutely. So I had a few event sales roles for construction industries and packaging world, like the UK Construction Week and EcoPack. So I did have a brush with the timber industry then, but there was this role that came up for the TTJ, and so when I went for the interview, my manager at the time, he just kind of was, he was a bit skeptical. He looked at me and he said, okay, it's pretty male dominated. Are you sure you're going to be okay in the timber trade? And I was like, yeah, of course. By that point, I was hard as nails. So I was like, yes, no worries, I'll be fine. I've just done packaging, I can do anything. And he just thought I was going into a whole group of lumberjacks. So I don't know what is...
But the result, I think, has been a resounding success, hasn't it? I mean,
absolutely.
And that's the bit I would like to get to is if he drew a sort of a slightly not scary picture, but slightly negative picture. What's the reality been like?
Well, the reality was when I actually entered the timber trade, I was so surprised at how much the trade kind of worked for me as a person that I'd kind of got all my skills together. So like face-to-face meeting and greeting, and then also the media sales and online. I found the timber trade to be incredibly warm and passionate. So I really took so well to everyone just kind of bringing me in and being so nice. And also I found it refreshing because it meant when I did business, when somebody said they were going to do something like maybe place an advert, they were going to do it. So it was very black and white. It was yes or no. There was nothing in between. And I just found that as a salesperson, that's the best way for me to move forward. And I I took to it like Dr. Watt. I loved it. Everybody was amazing. And I couldn't believe how much passion the timber trade had. Everybody was very passionate, and it was like an old gentleman's, like a gentleman's club. Everybody was all there, shaking hands, having beer.
Yeah, but that's the advantage, I think, isn't it? That there's no point pretending otherwise. I mean, I've felt it all the way through my career as a man that you're dealing with very old, established, traditional methodology, and that does take. But the people within it actually, they're not stupid. They recognise that, and they really do want to see things change.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask, I mean, sort of apart from sort of fairness and sort of equality of opportunity, what reasons do you think, what would you give as a reason for the industry to recruit more women? You know, what do you think women can add different perspective, a different approach in the workplace? Is that fair?
Yeah. I feel like with women, I mean, with our male counterparts, everybody works well together. So I'm not going to say, women, we do this more than that. I think there's a level of, I think everybody can have a different perspective. It's more about the richness of the clientele in a business. And so for an industry to benefit from that fresh mind, fresh innovation that women can bring, I'm not, like, I wouldn't want to say, women do this, women do that, because, everyone's the same, whether you're a man or a woman. But I think it's good in terms of visibility, diversion, representation, so that everybody kind of gets a seat at the table. And I think everybody would benefit from getting different perspectives, whether you are a man maybe heading up a timber company, or if you are a woman heading up a timber company. Yeah. So I think everyone's going to bring something to the table.
Yes. I mean, you've recently, we've seen this feature that you put together, I believe, in the TTJ, interviewing women in the industry at all levels. How it must have been really interesting, to obviously what we read is an edited version of everything that you would have discussed. But I bet you found it really interesting to get that insider's view.
Absolutely. I think I'm really fortunate, obviously, to work with incredible editors like yourself, Mike Jeffrey, Stephen Powney, and Sally Spencer, from the TTJ. So I've been fortunate to really work with incredible people for the TTJ. And Sally Spencer really took me under her wing with the Women in Timber, because we actually had this idea for the TTJ 150th anniversary, which was in 2023. And we wanted to do something special to kind of highlight how far the industry's gone.
Yes.
Like, got to since 1873 when it was launched. And, one of the things we noticed as a magazine, and just checking the trends out, was just an increase in women coming into the sector. Also, the kind of the leadership roles that they were taking up as well. So we talked about it at the 2023 anniversary issue, and it went down a storm. It was such a brilliant piece, and we had 9 profiles of some incredible women across the sector. So we thought, right, this looks like something people want to see more of.
Yes.
And as I go out and about, when I go for some industry events, and I meet up with other ladies, and we normally hang out in the ladies when you go to an event, and you just meet the ladies when you're in the powder room, and then you just have a chat. Sometimes we do business there, and so we're meeting so many people all the time when you're going about, and sometimes you just want to highlight, oh my goodness, so-and-so's doing this job, so-and-so's doing that job. And so with the Women in Timber article, we thought we'd do it again for 2025. And it's just worked incredibly well, because TDUK, incredible people from there, like Karen Sussex and Laura Quarters, they've just done an amazing job. And we've all been doing different things in the sector, in the industry, highlighting women. And then we thought we'd just come together. So with that, we had the Women in Timber. We kind of created a committee, which I was very honoured to be invited onto. And we've also got Sean Morton from BSW Timber and Jessica Vernon from Timber Garden Buildings. We head up the Women in Timber Committee, but that's the reason why we are kind of pushing this narrative, because everyone's just been doing their own things in different ways, having lunches, or maybe when we meet up at events, we just kind of head nod, hello, how are you? Yeah. And now it's just kind of amalgamated into this incredible movement. Yeah. And it's just great for that transparency and visibility for women to see that there's a lot of us here, and we should just highlight that.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's the trick that you seem to have turned, is that what I felt by reading the article and what I see when I go around within the industry is actually year on year on year, just more and more women are being very heavily involved in junior, middle, senior level, but more importantly, across across every single facet of the timber industry.
I think that came across very clearly in the feature in the Timber Trades Journal. And also, I was interested. I mean, it wasn't just the UK, was it? I mean, there were quite a few people you spoke to outside the UK in the rest of Europe.
Yes, and because, we've just done the second article, but we do want to encourage more women to actually come forward, and we've got like a whole list of people that, the next article you do, we'd love to kind of have a profile. And I think it's something that we could really just do as an ongoing thing, because it's great for everyone to see, really, and that's men and women alike, to see, who's doing what in the industry, like you said, the different levels where women are infiltrating, or if that's even a word, sorry, but you know what I mean, right?
No,
the levels where we're actually, women are coming in. And with the SCA, for instance, they had like an all-woman, I think it was like an all-female-led management team, which was brilliant. I think we talked about that as well.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting this year with the Timber Trades Journal, Timber Trades Journal Awards. It's great for everyone to know what's happening really in the industry. Yeah. For women. Yeah, I was saying the Timber Trades Journal Awards, which I'm involved with, the Career Development Award this year, 75% of the entrants for the Career Development Award, which recognises achievement in qualifications and training, 75% of the entrants were women who were put forward by their companies.
Yeah, and
that's great.
And that the other part I thought that was really good about that was there was a strong representation in both the under 25-year-old group and the over 25-year-old group. So it's not just young people sort of coming through. We're seeing people coming through at all ages, and women being really, really strongly represented, which was fantastic.
Yeah,
that's amazing. That's really great to see, because one of the ladies in our committee, Jessica Vernon, she's won awards in the past, like being 30 under 30 awards, and so she's kind of representing that new wave of generation of women coming into industry. And then we've got like different levels. We've got the mid levels like myself and Laura, and then we've also got our incredible veterans. And I would love to have seen Sheila Hutchings come in, and also Cindy from Scotland, Cindy Francis. She just retired, but she was really great to come into our article as well. But that just shows that generation of ladies that have been in the industry for over 40 years, and they've seen the change as well. So it's great for us to see the different levels and the times that we've all been in, and how it's changing with the different generations.
Yeah, and now, of course, we've got the, as you said, you're on the Women in Timber committee behind the Women in Timber conference on September the 5th. Is that correct, isn't it? Taking place at, is it Alton Hall in Leeds?
Yep, Alton Hall, Leeds. It's the first ever Women in Timber event.
Yeah.
It's hosted by TV UK. TTJ, we're sponsors. We're partners as well with it, and we've got all the sponsors that are there. And what it is, it's a good moment for everyone to come together, really. So just like to kind of network and to connect, to create that community. Yeah. And like a bit of a holding space for when you come together, really. So, but it's not just for women, but it's like the first Women in Timber event about women in timber. So I think it's exciting to see how it goes. and we're going to highlight that at the TTJ Awards as well. So that means we'll talk about the highlights of the event at the TTJ Awards, which will be in September on the 19th. So it's really exciting.
Yes,
it is, and I think the part about it is that we're seeing more and more sort of influence coming through. I mean, I was personally very impressed by the fact that when we looked at all the sponsors, we're thinking, crikey, how did you manage to get all of those people in on board? You've done a really good job on it.
Well, I can only attribute that to Laura Coulters, who's the business development manager for TD UK. She's done a great job.
Certainly has.
Karen Sussex, who is the head of operations at TD UK. These ladies are phenomenal with their work. And I think because it's such a good topic, a lot of companies are just jumping on as in they really want to be part of it.
Yeah.
And I think that shows how much it's a topic that people really want to see grow.
Yeah. And I believe at the conference there'll be some presentations, there'll be Q&A sessions and sort of panel debates. Is that correct?
Yeah, we've got. Yeah, I'm actually. I'll be chairing one of the panel discussions, and we've got some industry speakers like Michelle Buckland from Miro Forestry, Claire Toomey from Howden Joinery, Camilla Fish from the SCA, and Rosie Weiss from Travis Perkins.
Right.
We also have Judy Parsons, who will be doing a talk for us in the afternoon. And then we have the Timber Trade Benevolent Society, Christella Golby. She'll be there. That's the charity for the actual event.
Yeah.
And there's going to be so many people from different companies that will be there. And it's just going to be a great day. We can see it already just turning into something phenomenal.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fantastic.
It sounds fascinating.
It does.
Really good.
And is this going to be, if you like, the foundation stone of further similar conferences? I would imagine the answer to that's a big yes, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think what we could do is just because of like how much well received the topic is, and that this. I think it's a visibility, the community that we're creating as well. And there could be like networking workshops so people can come together to learn. Absolutely there's scope for more things to come from it. So with the TTJ, we will absolutely want to push more on women in timber, like do more articles around it. And also, for instance, some maybe breakfast briefings or maybe offshoot events. And TD UK, I believe we're going to carry on with this event so that we can make it an annual thing.
Yeah.
There's so many ideas we've had. We've just had some meetings, and there's so much that can come from it. And I just think it's going to be a staple for the industry.
Yeah, yeah. And is Women in Timber going to be a sort of ongoing network as well?
Yeah. I think by the time everyone gets together, everybody kind of exchanges business cards, then that network has started already.
Yeah.
It's not something that it's very much organic. So I think when people come together and they know that this is there for them, then the events can carry on, or the articles can carry on, and we'll just see how much it develops.
At risk of sort of getting into negativity, you're a person who's got a lot of confidence, and you've literally fought your way up. You know, selling is a hard game in any area, but selling in advertising and that, I would imagine in my mind, is extremely hard. But taking all of that on board as you've gone round. Have there been times genuinely when you felt that being a woman in this industry has been a problem?
That's a good question, to be honest. I would say, well, sometimes I think there was one incident. I don't know. Right, I'll raise it, but so because for me, I've always been. I think as time goes on, you're just very used to the years and the nays, which is, it's just part and parcel of the job. I also, because I'm from Nigerian, Scottish heritage as well, so I did notice that I am So with the why I'm more excited women in timber, it does show that inclusion and diversity in the timber trade.
Yes.
And also with the diversity side, I do represent a very small minority, ethnic minority as well.
Yes.
So it's great for us to kind of push this so that the timber trade becomes more diverse. And I'm just representing that. But one of the events I did go to, it was hard. It was harsh because that's not from the timber trade. It was from a guest speaker that came in, and he did a joke, and it wasn't a good joke. It was aimed at me, and it was difficult because I don't know how to put this, but it was a bit like in terms of whether it's borderlining on sexist or racist, that kind of line. So it was very much on the cusp.
Yes.
But I was able to navigate that only because I'm already quite confident in myself anyway. But the response around others was more telling than me. So as much as I was the subject, like the butt of the joke, which kind of was borderlining on sexist, racist. Everybody else took my battle, and they
that's
kind of
great.
went after him.
That's the bit I was really hoping that might come out of it as I was listening to your response there. I mean, that I was really grateful. Like everybody around just did not stand for it, and that was the beauty of the situation, which was when it was. If something goes a bit over the line, then you've got your colleagues and your work people around you to kind of support, and that was what I found. I was so grateful for the support.
Yeah, hopefully we're seeing the last sort of dregs of that sort of behaviour. To be honest, I
think that's it's kind of petering out now because it's just at the industry dinners where you get sometimes some of the entertainment, and I think that's just something that's. I think it's an old thing. It's an old school thing where maybe the jokes are quite silly, mother-in-law jokes or all that women jokes. And I think as more women have come in, those kind of that entertainment has kind of changed. It's not like that anymore.
Yeah. I'm so glad and thank you for answering that question, because as much as we want to try and, have everything's rosy in the garden type of discussion, we have to be honest that, it doesn't matter what sector you're in, issues arise. And I hopefully this podcast helps people to, if they're a bloke, to sit there and listen to what we've just discussed and maybe take heed of that and probably, like I did, cringe a little bit at the fact that you've even had to mention it, but that's real life, and if we can move forward from there, then that's exactly the journey we need to be on, isn't it?
Like I said, before I came into the industry, I was very much a hard-nosed salesperson because sales was very difficult. You're dealing with a lot of people, a lot of egos. And so it was very cutthroat. I came into the timber trade and I just completely was blown away by just the culture, just how amazing everyone was, the passion, but the honesty as well. And everybody loves what they do. Sometimes it's traditionally home, like family-run businesses. Sometimes it's newcomers that come in that I want to kind of shake things up. But for me, I've absolutely loved every second of it. So the woman in timber is just another strand, really, just another way. But again, everyone has embraced it, men and women.
Yeah, and you're clearly becoming a sort of great ambassador for the industry, is it, from what you're saying? I mean, what do you think the industry ought to do? I mean, are there more things it can do to attract young women into a career in the timber industry? I mean, should we be reaching out to schools and colleges?
Yeah, I had a chat with Shan Martin from BSW, actually, because we're in the car together, and she mentioned that there's some outreach programs they want to create where they go to universities and schools and talk about the careers in timber, and for women in timber as well, like to make sure that they know that these positions are available and these roles are available, and if you wanted to come into it. So I think there's all this development happening, and I'm sure TD UK will be working on that as well. But we also try to talk about that because we noticed that as well, and that's a skill set for everybody. just the next generation coming into the industry, like are they aware about the opportunities in timber? So yeah, I think there's a lot more work that needs to be done, but it'll be great to have those outreach programs going to schools and universities so that people can see what's available and they can come into the timber trade. Yeah. Yes. And that's for women and men.
Well, I think that's exactly what I was hoping we'd hear, and in every sense. I mean, obviously, our discussion today is centred completely about women in the timber industry, but we have touched there on ethnicity and diversity in every sense. And as a timber community, the richer that we are, the stronger we'll be. So it's really important, isn't it? I think we were hearing on recently, because of the great success of the England team in terms of women's football, that by girls seeing people in those roles succeeding and winning, that's what we really want to see, is winning women who are in our sector, so that younger women can see them in action, and then they'll aspire to that, won't they?
Absolutely, yeah. No, I agree, because that visibility is there, that transparency. Once it's there, then people can see, oh, I want to be like so-and-so in this company. I want to be the CEO. I want to be the MD. I want to be the head commercial manager. And it's incredible. Once we see it, then people know that it's there for them to aspire to.
Yeah, and I think, the Women in Timber article in the TTJ, the Women in Timber conference, the network, this is all sort of presenting role models which can be sort of presented to schools and colleges and say, these are women doing these jobs in this industry.
Yeah. And it's role models for everybody. I think even for women to see, I'm sure women that have been in industry can see the role models from their fellow male counterparts, and likewise the male counterparts can see the role models in their fellow female counterparts. So I believe everybody would benefit ultimately from this exposure, this push.
So
get more women in.
Yeah, as a sort of a wrap-up question, because we're starting to get towards the time, I'm afraid, but I think I already know the answer, but you sound pretty optimistic. Are you, underneath all of this, are you just being optimistic for this podcast, or are you genuinely optimistic? How do you feel the future is for women in the timber industry?
No, I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic anyway. Like, I've always been optimistic. Like, when I came in, I was always talking about women in timber. I picked up on it. It's a joke. It was a joke, but I think as time went on, I was just thinking, oh wow, you see a bit more colours at the timber industry. So instead of like the black and white bow tie suits, you start seeing some colours with women in dresses. Things are changing then when you get more colour in the room. Yeah. But I am optimistic anyway, and it's happening even without my input. Like, it is happening, so it's fantastic, and it's just great to be part of this movement. It's great to see it move, really, and for everyone to just jump on board.
Well done to you for everything you've done to promote this whole. It is important, but congratulations as well. And we're really hoping that your conference will be a great success. And
thank you. I have to just push all that to Laura Porter's, Karen Suspect, Jessica Vernon, Sean Morton, and everybody that's going to be part of this event that's coming to it, that's going to be looking in afterwards. Christina Golby from TTBS, and all our panel speakers. Honestly, it's such a collective effort. It's just not one person. Everyone's bringing it together, everybody. So thank you. Thank you for giving me the platform to talk about it on this podcast.
Thank you for coming on the podcast. It's been really interesting, and maybe we can catch up again a bit later after the conference, and you can come back and tell us how it all went and what the sort of outcomes are.
Is the conference going to be available online, or how can people access it who aren't there on the day?
Yeah, so I believe today's Thursday, so there's still tickets available. If anybody wants like a last-minute ticket, on the TB UK website, all the information about the Women in Timber will be there. We're going to have like a highlights at the TTJ Awards.
Excellent.
on the 19th of September at Hilton Hotel Bankside. So there's going to be like highlights, and I believe we'll talk about it as well. TD UK will highlight it as well. So there's going to be lots more. People should just look out for it on TD UK website and TTJ awards. We'll be putting out into the trade more events, and I'm sure I can bring my ladies along for the next podcast so you can talk to
that'd be
everyone
great.
else.
Well, so those websites, it's timberdevelopment.uk is TD UK's website, and Timber Trades Journal Online, TTJ Online is the .co.uk, or is it .com?
Yeah, so it's and if anybody wants to come to the awards as well, so the awards -TTJ basically Google TTJ Awards.
Right, okay.
You can come there and you'll see everything about the award if you want to come and see the highlights. So there is one more day of ticket sales for TD UK, but apart from that, I'm sure the industry will be able to see what we do on the 5th of September.
Thank you. Thanks, Chidi. That's really, really kind. Thank you for all the backup.
Yeah, Keith, I mean, that was a fascinating conversation. It was really interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we both knew it was going to be interesting, and I thought it was very brave of Chidi to do it as you might describe as a warts and all discussion.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a perfect society, and for women coming into the timber industry, I felt relieved at what Chidi said.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And I've been following in the Timber Trades Journal, the Women in Timber sort of articles, but I didn't realise that this is with the Women in Timber sort of network, and then we've got the conference coming up. I didn't realise it built up quite such momentum. I think it's tremendous, absolutely tremendous.
It is, and I think now there is a genuine opportunity that we've got people in these roles, and they seem to be very fired up to allow young girls or young women to come into the industry and help them and support them. It's just going to grow and grow as a sort of a mission.
Exactly, and like we were saying, now we've got these role models that young people can aspire to these jobs in the industry and see that there is actually a huge range of opportunities within the industry that they could take up.
Yeah, we ran out of time, unfortunately, but I think the one area that might be interesting to get Chidi back for one of our little offcuts might be around the whole thing with education.
Yes.
In terms of getting the message on to people coming towards the end of their educational side, so they can think about, I could have a career in the timber industry.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I still suspect that a lot of people might think that the timber industry is a bit stuffy, male, stale, all that sort of stuff. And if these women can break that down, our industry is going to be a better place.
Of course. I mean, the more representative it is of society, the better, the more successful an industry it's going to be.
Yeah, really good.
Fantastic.